Hi everyone! Today we're going to look at pattern just a little bit differently. Instead of making pattern the main focus, we're going to look at where we can use pattern in our artwork. I thought it would be helpful to go look at some other artists and how they're using pattern, how they used it in the past, and what's happening now today. So here are a few of my favorite artists I wanted to share. Gustav Klimt was an Austrian artist who used a lot of pattern and added actual gold leaf in his paintings. Romare Bearden was an American artist whose images depicted life in African American communities. Now, he frequently worked in collage, and some of the pieces that he used were heavily patterned. Henri Matisse was a French artist. Look at the beautiful loose brushstrokes he used, but also look at the places where he brought pattern into his work to activate the spaces. Mary Blair was a concept artist who worked for Disney. I love how she put pattern in all the scenes she painted. This is a concept study for It's a Small World. Here's another one of her pieces. I love her work. And now let's look at artists who are using pattern today. Helen Dardick fills practically every space with pattern. She's an artist based in Canada, and she works as a surface designer and book illustrator. Leah Gorin is an illustrator living in California. She paints mostly in gouache and watercolor. Notice on this piece how the figures are a pattern, and so many of the figures are also wearing patterns. So when I'm starting a project like this, the first thing I do is go to my sketchbook. This is my current sketchbook, and it's just full of all little tiny sketches of anything I'm thinking about or notes that I'm making. It's not very neat. I use it as a messy place that's for gathering ideas, and it really helps me collect my thoughts. So if you don't have a sketchbook that you work in, any scrap of paper will work just fine. This is what my first sketches look like. They're kind of small and quick. I do them really fast. I do a lot of them. And then when I start to get shapes that I like or an idea I like, and when I thought about this one was I wanted to draw a girl and her pet lion. Or maybe they're friends, I'm not sure. And then as I start to get a composition that I like, I scale it up a little bit and get a little bit more into the detail. The other thing that I'm thinking about with this project is a value range. So while we're working, you have the background color that you've painted. You could use any tint of background. I wanted to just kind of show you while I was exploring, I'm painting this one in blue, and while I was exploring the colors, there's a very wide range of values that you can use in your painting, from all the way the full 100% color all the way down to add more and more white, and the color turns all the way to white. So as you're painting, kind of look at and evaluate the value range and see how you'll notice when you're painting that the white colors, the brighter colors, come forward and pop out, and the darker colors almost look like they're in the background. So you can use that to bring out the parts that you want to emphasize in your painting. This is what my final sketch looks like. It's still rough. I'm going to add a lot more detail as I go, but you can see that the general idea, the shapes, are worked out pretty clearly. Now I need to figure out a way to transfer this image onto my tile. So I'm going to just turn this over. This is a really quick way of transferring an image. I'm just going to take a graphite pencil and turn it on its side and get as much of the area covered as I can. Okay, once the area is covered, I'm going to tape it onto my tile so that it won't move while I'm tracing. There are a few things I'll change as I go along. I think I'm going to move her leg over just a little bit, and you'll see how I move my drawing as I'm going, but you can make any adjustments you'd like at this point. Now I'll just trace over it. Now you can see just really faint lines of the drawing, and I can darken them a little bit from there to help me get started on my painting. Okay, now that I've gone over my line work a little bit, you can see what it looks like. I have much darker lines. They're all in pencil, so if at any point I need to erase something, it's no problem. I can keep making adjustments as I go. I also have my paint now. I'm only working with blue and white for this. Remember, we're keeping each tile one single color and tints of that color. So I'll work with blue and then I'll mix it with white to get some tints. And that kind of makes it a little bit easier to make color choices because you're really just looking at value. I always have some paper towels handy and some water in case I need to thin my paint, and my palette. I'm also using some smaller brushes. These are the brushes I'm using, so pretty tiny so I can get some really good detail. This next part, while I'm painting, is going to take a while. I'm going to pull out first the larger shapes where I want to get sort of a medium value, and then maybe pull out some things where I want to have a lighter value. The lighter values will stand out more, so you'll see how I can use value to push things forward or backward on the painting. I'm going to move my camera to time-lapse because this part is going to take a while. It's probably going to take me a few hours to work on this, but you'll see me working on it a little bit quickly through time-lapse. I'm finished with my painting. It took probably about an hour to get this level of detail. I can't wait to see what you all come up with. Have fun!